right here.
Yeah.
If I'm grabbing that collar, you can see a line, right?
Yeah.
So I'll make that line cut, bam, right? So what I like to do here is now that my knife is in there, I'll push forward and to the top of the head, right? Now I'll flip over, same thing.
Casi siguiendo los gills, las agallas, but no, not the meat. Just the gills, follow the gills.
Yeah, just the gill plate, behind the gill plate. These are the gills,
Yeah.
This is the plate, and it's like it's a bone, right? So you can see that line. I'll take my knife and I'll match that line, and I'll come out to the head. And same thing. If you're coming out the head, my knife angle is up. Like I'm not going like this into the meat. My knife's gonna come out up, right? So now that we've made two different cuts, they're going to the same place. We're gonna make the entire cut.
Yeah.
So I'll freeze this up. So if you look, so that way I cut a little bit higher. This is a bone. This is where your spine is gonna meet the back of the head. So that's where my knife is gonna go, right behind that bone, and then we're gonna cut straight down. That's what you want, right? So next thing next, like I was telling you to go, we'll clean the board at all times. Make sure all your stuff is clean. So first cut, right? The head away, the belly towards my belly. It's always gonna be the first cut, right? So same thing. So I mean, this is another thing too. Since you guys know how to scale and like gut the fish and stuff, when you start cutting fish, you're gonna start noticing stuff like this.
Yeah.
And just naturally, you're gonna be like, okay, let me get that out, even if we're not cutting the fish.
So I think that the best thing is when we scale the fish, remove all the things, right?
Yeah, dude. I mean, I told Mike in the past.
All kind of fish, right?
Well, yeah. So like when you have the fish and the gills are right here, I've seen Mike do it. Like he'll blast the gills, and that's good. But like sometimes that bloodline, like right here, it'll be covered in a membrane, and you really can't get in there unless you blast it, or if you cut the membrane open and get in underneath the membrane with water. So this being in the front, just naturally like what's left on the blood from the fish. So we'll clean that out. So we're all prepped now, right? Cutting board's clean. My knives are not clean, so let me clean them a little bit. Right?
Need más papel? Do you need more paper?
No, we're fine.
You good? Okay.
Yeah. So all right, first cut. You can see the spine. There's the spine, right? Think, and just like I said, think líneas, like think lines. So with that collar right there, that bone.
Yeah, the bone's still there. So.
My knife's going right on top. So crack those bones, right? So like I said, there's the spine.
Yeah.
So our knife is right on top of that spine. And same thing, I'm not sawing, I'm just pushing the whole way. Push, right?
And I told Michael always the knife follow the motions like against the bone, right?
Right. Because like I can even do this. You can see how the knife flexes, right? So there's a bone there. So I'm pushing down.
Yeah.
See? And if I'm pushing down, I'm also pushing out. Right? So as long as you keep that pressure down, you can't miss that cut. But even then, I wasn't all the way down, so there's a little meat that I missed. But
we can see the white and the bone is because the knife.
Correct. Yeah. And I mean a little bit on top, I went a little shallow right here, but that's okay. Like I said, as long as the meat and the fillet is whole and we're not waving it all the way through, it works. So again, before we start this one, remember I was telling you this will get you problems? So what I used to do when I first started, lift it. And you can see the bottom of the fish, right? Yeah. So my knife, like if I lift it, you can see that line, right?
Yes.
So my knife is gonna go right under that line, right? And you can even come all the way out if you want. We call this a sickle. It's where the fish is like angled when he's swimming like a rudder. So once you get under that sickle, you can connect your lines all the way down, right? So what we'll do now is I'll start it again. Like I said, I'll do the swooping one this time so you guys can see the difference. Like I said, I used to cut right here to break all those bones, or I'll find the spine, right?
So the
técnica más.
Bam. So I scooped underneath it. We're on the spine, and then mi cuchillo is up. It's not like this.
Ya debo echar Mike.
So it's up. And again, if I'm holding this, I have control of the fish, right?
But you don't want to cut the meat, just some
Right.
basic one.
So my knife being up, I'm pulling with this part, and I'm
Yeah.
pushing with the knife. Mira. So I didn't even move the knife. I just simply pushed, right? So being halfway through, we've already gone all the way down the spine, so we're looking good, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna keep going. I'm just gonna keep following that line. I'm pushing. Now look, we've gotten to that part, so this is what I was saying. See how the only thing separating that line is that cut, right? So if I'm holding this up and just pushing, it should, there we go right through. And at that, I'm almost out of the whole cut now, right? So being that I'm almost at the end, I just push until we're out. So all I got left is connecting is the tail, so I'll cut that off. Bam. There you go. That's your salmon fillet. So it's like I said, you can do two different routes. You can scoop underneath that to get out, or the first way I showed you, you just break a couple ribs, and then you use the middle of your knife, and you'll just crack all the way down.
Siempre arriba, ¿no? Contra el hueso.
Because now that I don't have to go underneath that sickle, I can just crack. I'll lift this up, get underneath it, crack, and I'm done.
Porque el mudo sí lo tiene diferente, ¿no? O casi igual. Mudo.
But yeah, that's it. So that's where you guys should be aiming for
Yeah.
yield and for